Hey, what's up, vampires out there? I'm Jyrki, your favorite Helsinki vampire from the 69 Eyes, and you're watching right there, right now, The Offering. Blessed be.
After 10 years of absence, you came back to tour in US, and actually this is a second tour. So how does it feel for you to be back twice in a row?
Well, like back in 2009 when we were touring here earlier, and nearly like last time, times were totally different. And we were told back then that to make it happen in the US, you have to keep the momentum. Which means that you have to come back like 3 times a year or something like that. But times changed, like all of a sudden, and I just recently watched the movie called Hustlers, which is about the strip club scene. And the same thing happened, like in our case, like the strip club scene sort of vanished when depression came, like 2009-ish when we were here last time. So at the same time, strip clubs vanished from here. The 69 Eyes stopped coming back. So it was interesting to see in the movie, because that's pretty much reflects on like what was being going on in the world after that. And music, of course, business-wise changed back then a lot, and that affected on us. And we just kept on rocking in the rest of the world. We did a couple of records, and last year, 2019, we returned, like you said, after 10 years of absence. So talking about losing the momentum and coming back all of a sudden after a decade, and it didn't seem to affect on us at all. There was people wearing our old school t-shirts and in here, and houses were full. And what was most heartwarming was like they had those couple of records that we released between those 2 times, that 10 years. They had them and wanted to get them signed. Mm-hmm. Seriously. So I was like, wow, you still got that record even though we weren't touring here. So that was very heartwarming. And now that tour was so successful, so that's why we are here like in less than a year.
Right.
And it's been a fantastic start. And we're playing a little bit different venues. Like we didn't come back to Chicago. It's been like could be like 11, 12 years since we played in Chicago last time. And it's very interesting, and it's great. We've been seeing new places. Even like last night we played at the Machine Shop in Flint. Yeah, we were never been, and that was like fantastic and insanely cool and loud audience. But it's so close to Detroit, so they're out there anyway. So it's like I don't know. It's like I hope we can always I hope that the 69 Eyes can like inspire musicians, bands, artists, whoever, and especially like as after a decade we return. It looks like nothing happened, so we didn't lose anything. Basically, what I think we lost during that time not being here was like celebrity DJ scene and like Jersey Shore guys having like their tours. So rock and roll is back, and it's never goes away. That's and we're here, so don't worry, guys.
So you'll come back again yourself?
Yeah, of course. We're already, we're already planning to come here, and we have some future plans coming up. So cool. Already, even though we are in the beginning of this tour, but by far it looks so great. So I enjoy every moment.
And last year, obviously, you released the new album, West End, long-awaited album, really. Mm-hmm. So when did you start working on this album?
Well, making a record for the 69 Eyes takes some like 2 years. Mm-hmm. Like we're busy touring for the whatever record there is, and then we start to write songs, and it takes like roughly a year to write the songs, and then we start to record. And this time, this making of this record took nearly a year you know, like I did my part like half a year before these guys got there. You know, they really concentrated on guitars this time, so it took a long time. But you can hearing that, you know, like so we were really you know, concentrating on making of that. So it took a little bit longer this time. Sometimes it's really like I hope that we come up with a new record faster this time. So it's already actually in plans, and we're doing new music and new records because our fans want to, you know,
Hear
new
more.
music from us,
Yeah.
and that's a thing that when we for instance tonight when you see us playing here, we have like 5 songs from our new album, and you know, they fit perfectly to the, you know, set, which is full of like the 69 classics, you know.
When you started working on West End, did you have a precise idea of what you wanted this album, how you wanted it to sound?
Well, it was our 30th anniversary album, 12th one. So, you know, like, I think if you know the history of the band, you can hear like old school 69 Eyes, and you know, like it's in the reviews I've been reading that it has like, you know, it has like all the elements through the years of the 69 Eyes. So, and it's like I earlier said, those guys were really concentrating on their guitars. So it's more guitar driven. It's really like a more guitar rocking album from the 69 Eyes, and that's how we wanted it. Previous record we had more like a keyboard synthesizers. So it was time to have like more like a guitar rocking record this time. So there's this glam rock side of the 69 Eyes, but there's also a gothic side of our band.
And you also have some great guests on this album. How these collaborations happen?
Basically, everybody who's on this record, they are just like our old school friends.
Right.
Johnny Field, Wednesday 13, they're like our, you know, my drinking buddies. So it's like just having it's good times having friends on the album, you know, featuring on them. So that's main idea. It's like that's like it's just like everybody who's involved with this record is like our old friends. They're even the people who took the photos or did the cover design and so on.
So do you think you will collaborate with other artists in the
it's
future?
Too early to say.
Right.
I don't have any, you know, I mean, basically that those things just happened. I happened to be at the, you know, I was celebrating my 50th you know, birthday at the Rainbow Bar and Grill and in Hollywood, and Donnie Field was there. So after a couple of drinks, I asked if he wants to join on our album. Same thing with Wednesday 13. I ran into him on the Sunset Strip, and immediately asked like, would it be right time to do new music together, and what would you join us on our album? So, you know, like those just happened. Yeah, they just happened. Yeah, really.
Yeah.
So we haven't. I don't have any at this moment. I don't have any ideas of like who we should have on our upcoming, you know, musical collaborations or anything like that.
And you also released some really cool videos for some songs for the new album. How important are visuals added to the music for you?
Well, I mean, there's this friend of mine who's like extremely good. I think the best music video maker at the moment, Vicente Cordero, and with his brother, they are making the best music videos right now anywhere in the world, and they are LA based, and we are very lucky to have him making music videos for us. So he's been doing all these. We have done like 2 regular videos with the band and you know, like and all the band appearing, and then we have like these like lyrics videos which he had made 2, and so we have like 4 more songs left without videos. So I don't know if we're gonna make that happen, but it was just like something we just kept on going, and it seemed to fit, and time-wise people and fans expect something new all the time. So lyric videos are something to announce a tour or something, very simple things to do, but also visually I'm very happy with them, and especially how Vicente did them.
Definitely. And as you were saying, you celebrated 30 years anniversary. After making music together for so long, would you say you guys are always on the same page, always agree about?
No, it's totally. I'm somewhere else, and those guys, I don't know what they are thinking, but that's the beauty of it. Like sometimes I'm flying too high, and they drag me down and keep my feet on the ground, and that's the thing with the 69 Eyes. Everybody has their own vision, but it's open forum, and everybody will contribute to the sound and what we are going to do. The ideas, images, lyrics, they're mine, but rest of that it's like and the sound is created by 5 different individuals. And I've been actually occasionally having some I've been traveling around and playing with my friends around the world, and sometimes we play some 69 Eyes songs, and even though I'm singing, it doesn't feel or sound like the same. It's like when these 5 guys, including me, are on stage, that is the magic happening, so it really needs all of us, and then it's the 69 Eyes.
And thinking about the early years of the band, do you think the music scene back then was very different or more interesting?
Well, that's actually the answer for the question which you haven't yet asked, like how come you have been playing 30 years? Because when we started in 1989, we're the 80s band, and if you think of there's a lot of bands from the 80s are still around. So that was a mentality in the 80s. When you started the band, that band will last forever, and you start one band only. It's not like and that band, it should last forever. There was no blueprints. For instance, these days, if the metal bands, that seems to be work for the metal bands, that they are changing their singers every second record and so on to keep things interesting, or at least half the members. But in the 80s, there was no blueprint. There was Rolling Stones going on doing what they were doing, the Ramones, and bands seem to be eternal. So when we started, it was obvious we start this band, and this is our first and last band, and it still by far looks like that even.
Yeah, you didn't even have any lineup changes.
Yeah, and that was the mentality of the 80s, and if you really look around, majority of these bands, whether they were hardcore punk band, rockabilly band, goth bands, hard rock bands, metal bands, all these guys from the 80s, they still keep on rocking around the world,
And what do you think of how important social media became with the industry changing so much?
Well, I mean, social media is it's good and it's bad.
Yeah.
You can get your message through, but on the other hand, there's so much stuff coming to people's, mobile phones that what I feel kind of difficult to make is to make sure that the people who you see the numbers of people who follow you see the numbers of people who are listening to you, but how to make sure that they find out that you are releasing new music or that you are playing in their town. That's the thing. I mean, there's so much information coming to the diehard fans all around, so it's kind of difficult sometimes to make sure, and I noticed that, for instance, I'm sure that after playing here in Chicago, and I put something in the social media, thank you Regis, it was cool to see you again. Some first commentary will be like, oh, you were in Chicago, I didn't know, So it's the task is to reach your fans. They are there, but there's so much information and so much stuff coming up. You have to pay a lot of effort to reach them.
Now, also in these years, you did some other projects, the 69 Cats. You had your solo album. Are these things that you would like to continue in the future?
All of them are going to continue. I need sometimes fresh air. Yeah. So my rockabilly band, the 69 Cats, was something that I always wanted to do, and I finally had the chance to do it. And well, I can actually reveal that that's going to continue for sure. Same with my solo things. It's just like I need some fresh air, and then I recharge myself again, and then I'm like I have all this energy to rock with the 69 Eyes. But all of us have our different projects. Our drummer plays in his like hard rock hair metal band, and our other members of our band they play in a like a hardcore punk 77 band together. So all of us have our different side projects, and you know, just you know, like to get more energy for the 69 Eyes. But most importantly, we all rock, you know, all the time.
Yeah.
Together or separate somewhere, you know.
That inspires you to.
Yeah, you know, we just love rock and roll too. That's one of the main things with the 69 Eyes.
After this tour, what's next for 69 Eyes?
Well, I mean, after the US tour, we go to Russia, Ukraine, and Eastern European countries. And after that, I think it's in April, we go to Latin American tour. And then comes summer and the festivals. And after summer, maybe back to the US, let's see.
So on the road all year, pretty much.
On the road, that's the best.
So you prefer to actually tour than recording or writing?
Well, I prefer like being on the road.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you think about the future of the 69 Eyes, what would you like to see?
I would like to see like that we can inspire artists and other bands and musicians just keep on believing and keep on dreaming like we have been doing. And so, I mean, and some fine day, you know, like somebody would come to say like, oh, we are doing this because of you guys. And, you know, like I would like to see how we have inspired other people as long as we are alive. You know, like if you think of, for instance, like the story of the Ramones, you know, after unfortunately they were gone, everybody started to wearing Ramones t-shirts. Yeah. Even probably not knowing about what the Ramones were. But still, you know, like I would hope that some fine day we will be alive to see, you know, like the fruits, like what we have, you know, like, and you know, the fruit of our work, how we have inspired people. And hopefully we are, you know. I think we are, but you know, like it's already like all these guys who have been inspiring us. They can tell, you know, you can tell from our looks and sound.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the
No problem.
interview.
No problem.
Enjoy the rest of the tour.
Thank you. Blessed be.